what's up, sports fans, and welcome back to Rival Talk. So obviously we had the NFL draft about 10 days or so ago, so you figured we had to come on and talk about the draft and what happened. So here we are today. Of course, I'm joined by Marcus as always. Marcus, good to talk to you. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing pretty swell. I mean, doing as well as I could after, 3 picks in a draft. So
yeah, the Mariners are doing great, but that's for another podcast.
Well, I wouldn't say they're doing great right now, but
I know, that's sarcasm.
Jared Kelenick's doing great, but he's not a Mariner right now. But yeah, that's a whole other podcast. So we obviously the Seahawks had 3 draft picks, but signed 12 undrafted free agents. Niners, how many total picks did you guys have?
I believe 6.
6, all right. How many undrafted guys you got?
Only 4 so far, so 4 or 5. So yeah, not quite 12.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously with the limited draft picks they had, I figured there would be a whole other draft class of undrafted free agents for the Seahawks. So that could be a good thing though, because they do hit in those. So
yep,
we'll see. But yeah, so I mean, I don't think there were too many surprises on draft day this year outside of some news about Aaron Rodgers, which we'll get into, of course, later maybe. Except I guess you could say, you'll talk about it. Your pick may have been a bit of a surprise compared to what people were thinking. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to reverse jinx it very hard for about a month before, and it worked.
It definitely worked. That was some good work on your part.
I know.
All right, so we'll just get into them. So today we're just going to recap the Seahawks and Niners drafts. So we're not going to talk about every pick, obviously. We're just going to pick out 3 or 4 that we like and want to talk about. So, Marcus, why don't you start us off? Who do you want to talk about first for the Niners?
Sure. My first one is a guy that reminded me of Damian Lewis, who you guys drafted last year, who I wanted badly last year. And his name is Aaron Banks, a big offensive guard out of Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. He's basically the exact same player that Damian Lewis is. He's a little bigger, but they've graded out very similarly. I kind of looked back at Damian Lewis's draft profile and Aaron Banks, and they're very similar. I think he's going to start game 1 at right guard for the Niners, or to be real close at least. And if he's anything like Damian Lewis, it'll be a heck of a pick.
Definitely, yeah. Damian Lewis was amazing last year, so.
I was a big fan. I think I told you that last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What round was he taken in?
He was. Oh, sorry. Yes, he was a second-round pick out of Notre Dame, offensive guard.
All right. Well, first pick for the Seahawks. I'll just go in the order that they drafted them. Dwayne Eskridge, wide receiver out of Western Michigan, 5'9", 190, ran a 4.38 40. He had 213 all-purpose yards per game. I believe that was just this past season, I think. I didn't double-check that, but I believe that's what it was. But, initial reaction, I may have, kind of overreacted a little bit just because this was another reach. It was similar to the Jordan Brooks situation last year, which was a reach last year, of course, in the first round, though he did turn out good. I do think Eskridge is going to be good, yes, but again, it was a reach. I don't think that was the glaring need there. Yes, we did need another receiver, but at that point, I wanted to see cornerback or a center. But, Eskridge, he's speedy and physical. He kind of has a similar skill set. Now, I'm not comparing him exactly to him. I'm saying the skill set is similar to Tyreek Hill. I do see some similarities there with that speed and the physicality he has at his size. Watching some of the highlights of him, he racks up those yak yards, which is something that the Seahawks really lacked in. And so I think he could help out in that situation, especially in Shane Waldron's offense. I know this is a guy that Waldron wanted, and I know he wanted to have 3 set receivers to go to. So looks like we'll have that now between Lockett, Metcalf, and Eskridge. It looks like he's going to pretty much contribute right away. So I also like what I see. He's aggressive and explosive, and he can play all over the line too, slot, outside, inside. And he's also a potential kick return and punt return candidate, which is what we need now since we just paid Tyler Lockett all that money. He's not going to be returning kicks ever again. So overall, I'd give him probably a B+ potential. I think he's going to need some time to develop, definitely. But I think, like I said, he's going to be good to go probably from day one. Just he'll develop in this offense. I think Shane Waldron will make good use of him.
Yeah, I think I even talked you off the ledge slightly over text after the pick was made.
Yeah, I probably did.
I mentioned immediately the kick returning about how it's going to take the pressure off the other guys that you used to have. Well, I didn't say Lockett. I kind of forgot his name for a second. But, yeah, you can't have him doing that anymore, so we've got to have a replacement.
Definitely, yeah. So I think Eskridge will be pretty good down the road.
Okay, so I guess that means it's my turn. I'm just going in order, of how they were picked. My second favorite draft pick, not named Trey Lance, is Trey Sermon. He was a third-round pick, a running back out of Ohio State, formerly before that from Oklahoma. I think this is kind of a low-key, huge pick for us. I know we already have some decent running backs, but they're always injured. And this guy has every down back capabilities. He's got low mileage on his tires basically for the last couple of years. Ohio State didn't use him all that much until the very end of the year when he just went off crazily basically. Averaged 7 yards a carry the last 2 years at Ohio State on just 150 carries total for the 2 years. I could see him being the best running back, even better than Mostert at some point. But that's obviously that's a long way in the future. I love Raheem Mostert. He's my boy. But Trey is definitely the most complete back that we have now, in theory. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I love the pick.
So you're looking at having a Trey duo down the road then, huh?
Yeah, we got a couple of Treys right now.
Very interesting. Now that low mileage thing you're talking about, that is good in a way, but also it'll be interesting to see then how he adjusts, when he starts being used more and taking on that high mileage then. So that'll be something.
I think at the very least you won't need to worry about that at least for a year or two. We got Mostert for 2 more years. Jeff Wilson Jr. is there for at least 1 more year. I don't know. We might lose him. I think he's going to get paid after this year. But Trey Sermon should open as the third back, so we'll ease him into it at the very least. Mm-hmm.
You don't have Coleman's gone, right? Then bring Coleman back.
Kevin Coleman is gone, and thankfully Jerick McKinnon is also gone, and he actually unceremoniously left. He got into some Twitter and Instagram battles with a few of our players on the way out. I don't really know why or how, but I didn't really like him anyway. So that one never really worked out. Yeah.
All right, well, my next one is actually my personal favorite one, too. I'm really looking forward to this guy. 4th round, pick number 137, Trey Brown, cornerback from Oklahoma. 5'10", 185, ran a 4.4 40, had 31 passes defense. That was good for 6 in school history. This guy, I think, is really undervalued, I think, and kind of going under the radar. You got to think about, too, some of the guys he faced at Oklahoma, and he put up some good numbers and shut down some of those top receivers there that he faced at Oklahoma. He's extremely physical, almost too physical, because I did see he had 14 holdings or pass interference penalties in 4 seasons, so that's going to be something, If Richard Sherman comes back home to Seattle, like I hope he does, maybe he could kind of teach him how to use that to his advantage, because I know Sherman's the master at getting away with those things, so that would be another good reason for Sherman to come back to Seattle. He's the first cornerback drafted in the John Schneider and Pete Carroll era with less than 32-inch arm length. He came in at a 30 3/8 length of arms, which is kind of a big deal because, Pete and John, they usually stick their system, but I do know that I think it was Pete that credited DJ Reed for kind of changing their philosophy a little bit with how much success DJ Reed has had in our system and being kind of a smaller guy than the usual cornerbacks are. So might be seeing a little bit of a change of philosophy there, which is kind of a good thing, actually, because if Pete can change his philosophy there, maybe he can start changing his philosophy everywhere else, which would be the best thing for the team. But baby steps, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this guy. I think he's got A grade potential. He might not start right away. I feel like we're probably going to be going with DJ Reed and Nikello Witherspoon to start. But I do think at some point he's going to win the job. I think starting opposite DJ Reed, and I think he's got all the potential to be a shutdown corner in the future. So I'm really excited about this guy.
Yeah, those two guys sound awfully familiar. Starting quarterbacks, interesting.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe those two might be shut down both themselves. That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, they're both former 49ers, and if they both turn into studs when they leave, I'm going to be a little upset. That's for sure.
Sounds like another team usually root for where people leave and turn to studs.
Oh yeah, well that's the narrative at least. But yeah. Well, for mine, I had a tough time picking my third one. I was choosing between Ambry Thomas, who is a cornerback who is what they say is a Richard Sherman clone. And we like the big cornerbacks as well. He's more the same. He's, I think, 6'3", 210 or something. And I really do like him, but I don't think he's going to play very much year one, especially if we somehow get Sherman back. He definitely will not play very much year one. So I'm going with our fifth-round draft pick. His name is Talanoa Hufanga. He is a safety out of USC.
Can you say that 5 times fast, please?
Player of the year. Yeah. First-team All-American. I think he was kind of a steal. He fell because his 40 time was in the 4.6s, which that's a problem. That would be what could hold him back. If he's too slow to play safety, which I really hope he isn't, he could play linebacker. But I think if he can stick safety and if he's not as slow as the 4.64, he could be a huge steal. And we're going to need a safety next year. We got both of our starters from last year back, but this guy's just super productive. And I know it's college, but I mean, he had sacks, he had interceptions, he had forced fumbles. He's all over the place. He's a slower Troy Polamalu is what they compared him to.
He sounds like he could be one of those hybrids.
Yeah, pretty much actually. And that the only problem, and the reason why I had a tough time, I would have picked Ambry Thomas for sure, but or I would have picked him for sure. But since he's a little slow, I had a tough time choosing between the two. But I'm going with him. I think he could be a stud. Totally kill him out there, I guess.
So say that name one more time. What was that name again?
Talanoa Hufanga.
Now, can you say it 5 times fast?
No, I can't.
Jeez. All right. Well, my third one wasn't really hard for me to decide because, I only had 3 actual draft picks to choose from before jumping into the undrafted free agent pool. But my third one, offensive tackle Stone Forsythe from Florida, the 6th round, 208th pick. This guy's huge, 6'8", 307 pounds. And for that size, he ran a 5'1", 440. That's
I didn't know you guys got him, honestly, and I'm sorry to interject, but he reminds me a lot of a guy, the Niners guy out of Florida, about 5 years ago. He was a 7th rounder. His name was Trent Brown. He's a stud offensive tackle in the league. These guys are pretty similar from what I remember doing my research on him, so I didn't know you got him, so that sucks.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
He gave up only 2 sacks this past year and 513 pass block snaps, so we obviously see the direction they were going there with this pick. This, straight up, he's not going to play probably at all this year, but this is Dwayne Brown's replacement. That's what I see. This is Dwayne Brown probably has 1 or 2 more years left, so we get this guy, let him learn a little bit under Dwayne Brown. I think that's going to be huge for him as well. Dwayne Brown probably 1 or 2 more years. Let Forsythe just kind of sit behind him. If Brown needs to take a week or 2 off for injuries, which kind of has been the case over the last couple of years, then this guy I'm sure can step in and do a decent job. He does need to work on and develop his run blocking. So like I said, his pass blocking is obviously his strength, but he does need to work on his run blocking, especially, playing in this offense. He just needs to learn more about using his size and arms to his advantage, which is, again, something I think that Dwayne Brown will be able to help him with. I give Forsythe a B-grade potential, and he, like I said, he should be a solid replacement, I think, down the road for Brown. He's not, obviously, Dwayne Brown's just one of those you can't really replace, but I think this guy will do a pretty good job after Brown retires or leaves.
That's actually kind of ruined my afternoon a little bit. I didn't know you guys got him. I didn't even look at your picks, quite honestly. The wide receiver, that was it. So
happy to help.
I like that guy. I like that guy coming out of the draft. So congratulations.
Thank you. All right, so we got one more to talk about. So it's not Mac Jones.
The 49ers made my life, for lack of better words, a living hell for about a month and a half with all these Mac Jones rumors. But by all accounts, he was never going to be the pick, and they just let the rumors take on the mind of their own. Apparently, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan liked Trey Lance from the absolute beginning, and that's awesome news to hear because, man, I would have started thinking a little bit less of them if they were high on Mac Jones, I guess. I definitely did not want Mac Jones. I was getting sick to my stomach just thinking about having to defend that pick for the next few years. And about a day before the draft, I think you knew my favorite was Josh Fields, but
Justin Fields. Yeah.
Yeah, geez. Josh Fields was a former Mariner pitcher, I think, that we drafted out of Georgia. But, yeah, Justin Fields. But I think Trey Lance is the best of the three we had available to us. I think he's the smartest. He's got the most effortless, zip on his arm. I've seen him throw. He's got every throw is a spiral, but 100% spiral. It's not like Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm kind of gotten used to how he throws, and when I'm just watching videos of Trey Lance, it's kind of crazy almost. I'm not used to it. Let's just say that. He played in more of the throw system than Fields or Mac Jones. He made all his own calls at the line. Apparently he aced all of the IQ tests that the 49ers gave him. I think he's more pro-ready than maybe people think. But I still do hope that we get the revenge tour of Jimmy Garoppolo this year. And then we move on from him. But I don't know. I don't know what to think. You never know. Once the season starts and Jimmy has a couple bad games, I'm sure I'm going to be the loudest caller for Trey Lance to be out there.
I can already see the Facebook posts. Yeah.
I know you can.
All right, sorry for that technical difficulty. We're back now. So, Marcus, you think we're just wrapping it up with Trey Lance?
Yes, I don't know exactly where I left off, but we'll just leave it with I'm extremely happy with the pick. I think it was the correct pick, and I can't wait to see him out there at some point. I think Trey's going to be a huge stud, whether or not Seattle Seahawks fans think he will or not.
Down the road, I hate this pick. Down the road, like right now, the next year or two, like I'm okay with it. Like it's fine, but yeah, because to me, and I've talked with other people too, some of my friends. This guy's basically like a light version of Josh Allen, is what I see.
Yes, so, a little faster Josh Allen, but they have the same skill set.
Yeah. So and I hate that. So, but this guy you actually like now, unlike Josh Allen. So.
I like Josh Allen now. He threw 7 interceptions against Nebraska, and I was there to see it. So, of course, you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth and we weren't even good. So,
makes sense. All right. Well, my last guy to talk about just pulled from the undrafted free agency pool. This is actually a guy that I think could be a diamond in the rough. Another wide receiver, Cade Johnson from South Dakota State. 5'11", 184, ran a 4.49 40. So this guy, obviously, he's got his strengths and his weaknesses being undrafted, But I think this guy has potential. I'm not comparing him, but he could be the next Doug Baldwin for us, where he comes out of the undrafted free agency and works his way up over the years to being a great receiver. I could see that potential in this guy here. He's explosive off the line of scrimmage. He's really good in the go routes, the seam routes, your deep routes, and staying in the middle of the field. But I do think he needs to work on developing more of a route tree. Like what the main knock was on DK coming out, but obviously DK shut all that up. But this guy definitely, he does, I feel like, need to develop and work on a route tree. But he's not afraid to make tough catches and through contact and in the middle of the field. So he's physical, he's aggressive, and he'll make those catches. He does need to work on his separation. Notice he's kind of just working some things with his hands and his feet that allows him to get that separation he needs. And he's also another potential kick return and punt return candidate. So we could mix it up between him and Eskridge, depending on how much you want Eskridge to just focus on being a receiver and playing in the offense. So this is another one we can just we at least have two legit really good kick return candidates now, which is more than the Seahawks have had in a while, I feel like. So that's good on that end. But yeah, for him, I'd give Johnson a B- potential. I think he could, down the road, develop into a pretty solid number 3 or number 4 receiver. So, yeah, so there we have it. What would you give Niners a draft grade?
I liked it a lot. A lot of the pundits or whatever, or even C's I've seen, I don't know. I loved it. I would give it an A- pretty easily. I thought it was better than last year's draft. Just getting steals in later rounds and getting need-based picks. Obviously, we gave up a lot we traded up for Sherman as well, and obviously traded up for Trey Lance. So it was an expensive draft, but I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it a B+ at least, A- probably, though.
Yeah, Seahawks, like you said, I've seen Niners get kind of not great reviews, which confuses me too. Seahawks kind of the same. Seahawks have been down towards the bottom with draft grades, but ever since 2012, I don't think that really matters anymore. When they gave the 2012 class an F, I don't think anybody cares what they say anymore up here. Because I'd give the Seahawks a B. I think they did what they could with the little amount of draft picks that they had. They got exactly what they needed: a wide receiver, a cornerback, and an offensive lineman. And they got a huge haul in undrafted free agents. So if we can get a couple guys out of there to be able to contribute, I think that'd be good. Just the one knock I still say is I just feel like, looking at Eskridge, like, yes, I like the guy, but it still feels like it was a reach. Maybe we could have gotten him later, but that's just the only issue I have. So is we're still reaching, but I guess that's the Seahawks' MO in drafts. So
sure, sometimes.
But yeah, so
I will say this about us, the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. I'll have like no picks in the next few drafts. It seems like at least first round picks. So
yeah, first round.
We're all in the same boat. So
yeah, Seahawks have a whopping 6 picks next year, I think, at this point. So doubled the total. So,
there you go.
So. All right, so before we head out, let's just hit a couple quick pieces here. So first, post draft predictions. What are you looking at the division now after the draft?
God, this is always a tough question.
It's going to be the toughest question until the season comes.
It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Sorry, you there?
Yeah, I was just saying it's going to be the toughest question until the season comes.
I honestly, this is such a crapshoot. I'm still going with the Rams as the division champs right now. I honestly will go Seahawks number 2 and 49ers number 3 right now. And I know that's crazy to put Arizona 4th, but I just have to. I can't put the Niners 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much with you there. I got the Rams still taking the division. I think I got them right now 12-5. It's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not even putting records right now. I haven't thought about it enough to embarrass myself with that.
I don't care if I embarrass myself. I did that a lot during the season last year. So. Then I'm right with you. The Seahawks, Niners. I mean, I got them both at the same record, 11-6. I think I just had the Niners over the Seahawks right now, but I got them like pretty much neck and neck right now. And then the Cardinals. Cardinals are 4th, but I still am at 10-7. Right now, I have every team in this division in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I could easily see that. The NFC is not like a powerhouse or anything, so I think teams are like Saints are going to be down. You would think. I can't imagine they'll be as good with Jameis
or Taysom, whichever one. Yeah.
Yeah, Buccaneers should be right there, but who knows? I don't know what to think about the Buccaneers. They brought everybody back, but will they have the same hunger, I guess? But either way, the AFC is clearly more stacked top to bottom if you're looking at it that way. So it could happen.
And, of course, the Packers, leading into this now, speaking of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. So I think you and I can both celebrate this together, though. He might be out of Green Bay. So I think we both
hopefully it goes to the AFC.
That's what I was going to say. Where is Aaron Rodgers lining up under center week 1? Denver, yep. That's what I'm saying, too. I think Denver, too. Which kind of would be annoying, though, because Denver gets Peyton Manning towards the end of his career. They get a Super Bowl, and what, are they going to get Aaron Rodgers, too? And get a Super Bowl?
That actually would annoy me quite a bit. In fact, I think Facebook posted that right after the Denver rumors came out. But I'll bet over him being in the NFC any day.
Definitely, yeah, because the Packers, without him, they're looking at probably, 4 or 5 wins, maybe? So...
I'm not a Jordan Love guy. Who knows? He might be okay, but you really have no clue. I'm not even going to try to project him right now because you have no idea. But the fact of the matter is, without Aaron Rodgers, the Packers are a middling team at best.
I'm sure Devontae Adams would want to leave too. So
my keeper. What am I going to do?
Well, not anymore, probably. All right, so last bit of piece of news here is Richard Sherman. That's kind of a big talking point right now between both Seahawks and Niners fans. Is he going to come home to Seattle or is he going to stay in the Bay? And Marcus and I, for those of you at home, we have a little wager going on right now, a little profile picture bet. So if Sherman comes home to Seattle, which I'm hoping he does, I'd love to have him back, finish out his career where he should finish it out. Marcus is going to be changing his profile picture for a week to the tip. We all know the famous tip. I'm sure that's Marcus's favorite play in the history of sports.
Yeah, I've only seen it a million times and had it forwarded to me another million times. So yes,
probably 500,000 of those from me.
Yeah.
But then if he goes back to the Bay, and I guess he would finish out his career in the Bay, which would absolutely suck. I'm assuming you have something cooked up with him in a Niners uniform or something. I'm sure.
I don't yet, but I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm hoping he comes back to Seattle because I think he deserves to finish his career here. So I know you want him back there, but we'll see.
I definitely want him back, and if he doesn't come to either one, nobody wins, and we're both upset.
Yeah, yep, we're both sad, but I think like I said before, I think he could really help Trey Brown. I think develop into the star I think he could be. So I think it'd be good all around.
Quick question for you: most Niner fans I know don't want him back. Are Seahawks fans like that too?
I'd say it's pretty mixed because the way things ended, the way it left, there was a lot of speculation about a lot of rift and stuff. But I don't know. There was a little bit of period of time where I felt like he kind of was disrespecting Russell and rubbed me the wrong way, but I've kind of gotten over it. I'd love to have him back. He's a Seahawk legend. He deserves to finish his career where he started here, and I'd love to see him in the Ring of Honor out here and his jersey retired out here someday too. So
yeah, the Niners fans they all love him here. He hasn't done anything but be awesome here basically, but they just think he's lost his step. That's why I don't want him back, which he has.
Yeah, he definitely has.
I still want him back.
But the thing with him, though, what's key is the knowledge he brings. Like I was saying, it would be huge to have him come here and help out a guy like Trey Brown. The knowledge he brings is huge.
That's why I want him back. The leadership in the locker room is second to none, basically, for him.
Definitely. So, so that's all we have for our draft recap. So next time we'll be on, we'll be probably looking at some time before training camp starts. So it's going to be coming up here fast probably. It's kind of crazy to think about. So.
Well, I'll go back into hibernation. Just call me when you need me.
All right. I'll call you sometime in the middle of July probably.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us and take care.
Always a pleasure. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So thank you for watching the video. Be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, go follow me on Twitter, and go Hawks.